Packaging. What is packaging? Well, by definition, packaging is this. This is a formag. This is the packaging. It's orange. It has nice text to the logo for certification and some descriptions behind. When you go to the supermarket, you have so many different packages. You have brand names that you recognize like Barilla, ketchup, stuff that you recognize, labels. And you also have the presentation of it, the shape of it, etc. So this supermarket, we can compare it to the YouTube homepage. All right, it's literally the same thing. A good packaging, you would take it over a bad one, or you would take it for its quality, whatever. And here, you would take the best videos and click on them and watch them. We already talked about how YouTube is a clicking game. And so like we discussed about it, ideas, yes, they have to be good, but the packaging also has to be good, which is why we include the packaging within the ideas itself, like the concept basically. The concept has to be good. And we already talked about how this can be a viral format, how this can just be like an interesting thing, like an interesting video, and if the packaging is bad, nobody's gonna click on it. Most of your guys' packaging is terrible. You literally have things like Photoshop images, 2010 type of thumbnails, like that's not gonna work, all right? And most of, like, I've seen the mistake, this is the worst of them all. I've seen the mistake of you guys not even putting within the 16 times 9 format. How? You know? So I'm really here to teach you guys how to make great thumbnails and great titles, which is what this packaging video module is about. And one metric that you need to understand is click-through rate. How many people out of all the ones that see your video are going to click on it? And I'm going to give you the basic stats from what I've seen. So anything that's below 4, click-through rate in percentage is bad. Anything that's between 4 and 6, it's all right, medium. 6 to 8 is pretty good. That's actually like a pretty good thumbnail. Nice. And then above 8 is starting to become like Mr. Beast level or something great. But don't confuse yourself because you guys haven't even reached like in the hundreds of views. And the more views that you get, the more realistic the CTR is going to be. So only if you have like a few hundred views or more, only then can you actually see a CTR, because you might have like 10 views, but your CTR is 20%. Oh yeah, that's good. 10 views is not enough data to actually say that. So that's an important metric that you have to take into account. And like, it's not the most important one, but it definitely is if you want people to click on your videos. So improve your packaging, and that's what we're going to see in this video, in this module. All right, so simple definition of what a packaging is. It's a thumbnail and it's a title. This is the thumbnail and there's the title right there whenever you are on YouTube. So how do we come up with good titles, okay? So we previously mentioned that you go from a God topic or an idea into a YouTube title, like YouTube idea, and within that you have the YouTube title. So for example, you want to talk about Jesus is never going to come back, like that's the topic idea. You turn it into a YouTube title by saying most Christians are wrong about the rapture, like something simple like that. But you have to really, there's like hundreds of options for even one idea of a topic, which is why it's hard to figure out the best title. I still don't know how to like perfect a title, but I'm going to give you some elements right here. So for example, in a title, the 3 main emotions are fear, intrigue, and desire. Fear is the reason why most people are going to hell. Here's why. The video actually succeeded because it's a fear factor. I fear-mongered. Another thing is intrigue. Oh, well, why is this, like this idea such an intriguing thing? It's such interesting. Like, why is this guy blah, 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 you know? And then another thing, which is pretty selfish and people are selfish, is desire. How to get a girlfriend with God. How to make money with God. You know, like reach that type of vibe, basically. And usually, from what I've seen, and we all know it's deep down in our minds, is that negativity works better. And oh boy, how negative we can be because we have the truth, and this truth, so many people will deny it. Check the comments on the most people are going to hell video. You're going to see how many people were negative about it. They were bitter for me saying the truth. You can do the same, bro. You're going to get your religious comments and people denying you and stuff. If you automatically go against lies with the truth, you're going to immediately just get a lot of drama, traction, and more clicks. So I think we have to prioritize more of that, like fear and then intrigue and then desire. All right. So remember the three main human motives for clicking on a video when they look at a title. All right. So basically, how do we actually go from an idea onto a title? The very simple way that I use is asking ChatGPT to make a list of the best titles that are high CTR. We already talked about CTR. You just ask it high CTR. And in fact, for this one, I think I have a prompt. So you don't even have to worry about it because I'm going to try to make a prompt that works. All right. And what I also suggest is to read a lot of these YouTube titles and look at all kinds of them. In fact, intelligence on YouTube is pattern recognition. So really, again, scroll on YouTube and just recognize all these types of formulations, ways that titles work. And again, much like the thumbnails have formats of their own, titles also have formats of their own. There's a way and an art of making a YouTube title work, actually. Another thing that's really important, something you have to master and that I didn't master at all, is curiosity loops or curiosity gaps. What that entails basically is you add something that's intriguing as an element, and it has to be a question that's open, but you don't give the answer fully. And that's what, in human psychology, people always look forward to. Why is this guy doing this? I need to understand. Oh, that's why he's doing it. That type of intrigue, curiosity loops. And curiosity loops have to also be applied throughout the video, but in the packaging itself. That's why you need to basically synergize the title with the thumbnail. We're going to talk about it later. Yo, something that I forgot about, and I'm really ashamed of it, is titles being short. So there's a maximum sort of character in your titles that you should keep, which is less than 55 characters. Your title should have less than 55 characters, and the fewer words you can actually explain what the title is, the better it is, okay? Especially if it's like 6 or 7 words, basically. And it's kind of related to the concept of having titles sort of like the explanation of the video itself, in the sense that, okay, can you describe what the video is about in one very simple sentence? Another thing that you should use with your titles is placing words. So in what categories and what paths should you actually place your words? So the earlier things that are like triggering, for example, if you're going to make a video about 100 days of Jesus' commandments, try to put 100 days in the first 5 words, like the earlier it is, the better it is, okay? Because people are not going to read the entire title at once. People are going to read progressively, like left to right, or right to left if you're Arabic or whatever. And what would Arabic YouTube look like? That's interesting. But point is, just put all the important elements in the beginning and then just like fade it out as the title goes. But you shouldn't exceed or go past 55 characters, because if you do, it's not going to be visible on YouTube. It's going to show up as 3 dots, and especially on phone, it's not practical at all. So make sure that your titles are well written, all right? All right, but getting back to the thing I was talking about, you generate a bunch of titles and you have to critically analyze, okay, ChatGPT says that this is the best title from the prompt, but you cannot just take it as face value. You have to truly look at which titles are best and match with the thumbnail, match with what your video is literally about and the topic itself. You have to have your own intuition about YouTube, much like I have my own YouTube mind intuition. And I truly do go through like 50 potential titles before even coming up with three, like with ChatGPT, I just run it. And so once you do that, I want you to keep the top 5 or top 3 best titles. And you do that so you can store up these titles and see these different angles and even use it for A/B testing. On YouTube, before uploading a video, you have to set up the title. And now you can actually set up the title to have 3 different titles and test it out with YouTube to see which one works or not. And so that's why you should keep in mind that you have to keep more of these titles in your pocket. I haven't done this part of the research yet, but there are a few words that are pretty nice on YouTube. I use the word actually. First of all, that's in my language. People have mocked me for saying actually or literally. Literally is even worse. I used the word actually in this one, and it was nicely used because I emphasized actually as if the topic here is cool. Like, who cares about turning the other cheek, like for most people? But because I added a woman and I added in the thumbnail, in the title, turning the other cheek is actually awesome. Hey, maybe that's a format, And within that format, you have to use the word actually. So for example, this is really important for you guys for pattern recognition. Just understand it like this. You analyze this title right here and you see that it's written, turning the other cheek is actually awesome. Here's why. So the format is basically X is actually awesome. Here's why. And X would be a subject. So for example, being addicted to TikTok is actually awesome. Here's why. That might be a format. You guys might have to try that, okay? That's literally how you do the YouTube game of pattern recognition and applying it onto it. If you guys haven't understood by now, look at YouTube, see what works, apply it onto your thing, and see if it pops up for you. Literally just that. But right now, I'm going to show you one example of a format that you can definitely apply and one word that's going to increase your views by 3 times, statistically, all right? So this is just an example of using a word, specific word in your titles, and you have to apply it to the format of the video itself. It has to make sense, but the word that basically increases your views by a lot, according to this video right here, you can check the description right now, is the word every. EVERY. And the reason why is because psychologically, you have a topic and you just look at all of the elements of the topic. And there's 3 main ways that you can actually use it. 3 different mediums. And we're going to cover it right now. Sorry guys, I have to use the laptop's microphone instead of my own microphone. It kind of lagged. So as I was saying, here's how to use the word every inside your videos. This is just an example, and you would be better off watching this video right here, which will make it more clear because he actually shows the videos that he works with, right? And by the way, you should watch him a lot, I'm telling you, because he has 3 billion views under his belt. Everything that he explains is clear. He speaks a bit fast, but at least it's understandable for you guys. So definitely check him out, okay? But you use the word every in your titles in 3 simple mediums: all-encompassing, progressive, and modifier. All-encompassing, a perfect example that I thought of a long time ago is, I tried every commandment of Jesus. That would blow up. And the reason why it's all-encompassing, it's literally just something, and then you try every variation of it, every type of it. That's the format. You try every type of something. And I'll tell you more examples of that. I ate at every McDonald's in my city, every weapon in Fortnite ranked by damage. I read every book on the bestseller list. I tried every single iPhone from iPhone 1 to iPhone whatever number it is now. That is all encompassing. And it's nice because people just like the curiosity of seeing, oh, what is everything from that? You know, I tried every lamp, I read every book, I climbed every wall. You know, there's so many things you can come up with like that. But just know that it's a challenge type of thing in which we have to see what you are doing. Or at the worst case scenario for this type of video, you just talk about your experiences. But it's not going to be that intriguing because we really want to see how, like, if you're going to make a video like that, you have to actually do it. Show it on camera, show examples of it, you know, and just think about ideas that are all encompassing. The other thing is progressive. So, for example, we've got every 5 minutes, my house gets smaller. Every time I die, I delete one item from my inventory. Every level I gain, I add 10 push-ups. And this one is great because every is being used as a progressive thing, the factor of progression. And when there's progression, there's stakes, all right? So you're raising the stakes every single time there's 5 minutes or you die, or every time something happens, you gain level, the stakes rise. And people keep watching the video to see what happens to you. They want to see if you're going to make the challenge or not, you know? Again, it's a challenge thing. And last point is modifier. The nuance between all-encompassing and modifier, it's like basically just creating a rule or a constraint. So for example, every time they comment, I spend $1. I bought every item offered by a telemarketer. I play every match with my monitor turned off. That's a weird title. But basically you just set a challenge, except that there's a weird rule, okay? Which is like a bit more creative. And so this is how you use the word every. And when you check these types of videos, it's pretty interesting. You know, that's one of the popular YouTube formats, really. Okay? But again, this is just an example. Watch this guy instead because he'll explain it to you better. And focus more on the ideas. Don't do challenges yet because we're mostly a talking type of channel. So, you know.